So I'm going to be, hopefully I can explain this. This is the question that must be answered by any futurist, anybody that takes Daniel's 70th week off of the prophecy from the first century and says it's in the future, or who thinks they're inclined to break up the periods of the 70 weeks because they're mentioned as 7, 62, and 1. This is the question you must answer, and nobody answers if you're honest with the text. As far as I can tell, I don't trust your interpretation whatsoever if you don't take this seriously, and you are guilty of your private interpretation. I feel really strongly about this, and this is the question everybody should ask. And there are people out there who care about this, about being honest with the text, that disagree with me. But this is what needs to be answered. If you think Jesus made atonement for iniquity in the first century and fulfills Daniel's prophecy as the anointed one, but he's cut off after the 62 and 7, and the 70th week hasn't started yet, the prophecy of Daniel 9:24 is 70 weeks to accomplish these things. If you force a break in between the 69th and the 70th week, and you put Jesus outside of the 70 weeks, you put him in no man's land. 70 weeks were appointed to get done the things listed in verse 24. Be corrected by the text. It's the frank matter of the clear fact of the matter is everyone agrees verse 26 says after the 62, which is after the 7 period and the 62 period. After that, he's cut off. Everybody agrees that's talking about Jesus. That leaves only the 70th week to be coming after the 69th to keep Jesus in the 70-week prophecies and able to fulfill, as it is written, the things in verse 24. And it's an easy thing to miss. But if you take the text seriously, if you put a gap in between the 69th and the 70th week, you have placed Christ outside of the period allotted to fulfill the things listed in verse 24, therefore rendering him not fulfilling, making atonement for iniquity, bringing in everlasting righteousness. But in fact, he did. And so that should correct your interpretation. To ignore this question, the fact of the matter is it's game over is what it is. Game over. Be corrected.